You're watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
And welcome back. Being a parent can be a full-time job and really can take up all of our time. So how can we set boundaries so that we can set aside time for our care for ourselves? So I'm joined today by Abby Krause from the Family Support Center. Thank you always for joining us. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Abby, this is a hard topic because you tell parents how important it is to go and take time for yourself, but to apply that and actually do it is a tough story. So first off, why are boundaries just important between parent and child?
Well, I think one thing to understand is that, one is just that parental burnout can really happen, right?
Yes.
With everything that's going on. When I say parental burnout, I mean anyone in a caregiver role. And when we're recognizing those symptoms coming up, what that really means is that our mental and our emotional health is being affected. Same thing as if we noticed that we had a broken arm and we wanted to address that, we'd go to the doctor, right? So when we notice burnout coming up, it's saying, it's kind of like a ding, ding, ding. We need to be able to address our mental and emotional health.
And when you say burnout is coming up, I think that's a big part of it too, is detecting it before it is full blown. I am burnt out. So what are some of those symptoms that you think parents should look out for?
I think one thing is possibly when you're noticing yourself maybe not being satisfied and noticing things that maybe you were enjoying before, right? That maybe you don't have interest in anymore. We notice our energy level is really low, which can also indicate just burnout, that we're not caring for ourselves in the ways that we need to. Maybe sleeping, maybe eating healthy, maybe eating at all, maybe getting a drink of water. I think those are two really big things that can help us understand, maybe, we're experiencing a little bit of overwhelm in our mental and emotional state.
And that's good to just pause for a moment and say, how am I feeling? And detecting it before it gets too bad.
Yeah.
Going back to boundaries then, what are ways we can create these boundaries with our kids?
Well, I think one thing definitely is being able to just speak to, in a very specific way, to the ones that we love, our needs, right? I know that it can feel overwhelming sometimes when we want to speak to these things. We might feel our own guilt, feeling that we shouldn't do that. However, being able to address these needs one is actually helping ourselves, and an extension helping our kids. So really trying to clearly state our needs to other people. I think another thing is being able to set aside time. We all have a minute. We all have a minute in order to do something for ourselves that helps address some of those self-care needs, right? Getting a drink of water, taking a deep breath and doing some breathing exercises, being able to take our vitamins, something like that. Those are things that are easy enough for us to do, at least.
So much so. Okay, so if you were to say a final message on this topic today, because it's already time to wrap up, but there's so much we could talk about, because parents do need that moment to just fill up their cup again before they go and give. What would you want your final message to be?
I think my final message would be to be kind to yourself. I think a big thing is that we are our own worst enemies. Oftentimes we're going to be harder on ourselves. Think about, what would I say to a friend in this time that maybe I'm experiencing burnout, and then can I give myself that same care?
And I think the way you treat yourself if you're thinking of your friend would be much differently than what we do. Abby Krause, we really appreciate your time here today again with the Family Support Centers of Utah. We will see you again hopefully next week.
Yeah.
We'll send it over to you, Rich.
The new fitness